Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of Vol, and in this video we're having a look at the scale data, and in particular a trick that we can do with it. So when I say scaling, I don't mean that if we scale something on the z-axis, well actually I kind of do, but what I mean to talk about is the fact that we have scale information in the M panel when we go to item. And you can see here, as I scale something on the z-axis, it will not only change the dimensions, but it will also change the z scale. So for example here it's about 3 times what it is on the X and the Y. And the reason this is interesting and the reason it gets mentioned in loads of Blender videos, not just mine, is that if I tab into edit mode and then select these edges and decide to bevel them with Ctrl and B, this very much isn't a 45-degree angle. It is, well, way off of that because all of the beveling is, well, about 3 times more in the Z direction than it is in the X or the Y. And that's because we haven't applied the scale. So to do that, we Ctrl and A, apply the scale, and if I do the same thing to the bottom edges here and Ctrl and B, you can see that this is at a perfect 45-degree angle because the scale was all set to 1. Now you quite regularly see, not just on my videos but other ones as well, people asking, well, why does Blender do this? Why doesn't it just automatically apply this scaling? And there are multiple reasons for it, though it does feel like a lot of the time it might be easier just to apply the scale automatically and then have a button if you don't want it to apply. But I guess it's easier to not apply this and then you can apply it later than try to apply it and then retroactively go back to change it to something that's not equal. I don't know, anyway. I just wanted to show an interesting case example of where not having the scale applied was quite useful. So what I've been doing recently is trying to make some tabards, some loincloths. I'm just going to rotate this on the y-axis 90 degrees and then we'll apply the rotation just to make everything easier to see. And what I did is I scaled this on the z-axis to make this a bit longer, applied the scale and then started going in to make our shape. So I'm going to just put an edge loop in there with Ctrl and R, then select everything, Ctrl and E, and then subdivide, and we'll do this like 100 times. In reality, what we'd probably do if we were properly sculpting this is maybe do that a little bit less or around the same, and then add in a multi-resolution modifier, but for this demonstration it'll be perfectly fine. So what I wanted to do is make something that looks rippled like a curtain in effect, though a curtain has lots of little ripples at the top and big ripples at the bottom. I've been doing things with curtains recently and it's been very, very tedious, but it's on the brain. But either way, what we could do here is come in, select an edge, so a vertical edge, not a horizontal edge, and then if we want to make a ripple in this, we could go into our proportional editing tool, probably have this on smooth, and then we can just G and then X, and then drag this out a bit, and I can scroll my mouse wheel down to make this a smaller width or bigger width, depending on what you want to do with your scrolling up and down on your mouse wheel. And we can go somewhere here. Great. Except for this goes all the way up. This is not really helpful. We want this to be wide at the bottom and then almost go to next to nothing, if anything, at the top. Now, what we could do is, let's just select an edge here, is get rid of some of this selection. So what I could do is go to C for circle mode, hold down Shift, and then click. I'm sure this used to be middle mouse button, but it's changed to definitely be Shift. You can see it at the bottom of the window, it telling us what to do, deselect. And then we'll escape to get out of circle mode, and then we can do the same thing. So G and then X, and then move it out. But this is not really what we want. We want this sort of rounding here, but we want this, the bit at the top, to be much more elongated. And we can't do that very well with this tool. And this is one of the uses where that scaling could be quite helpful. Let's just do a plane again. There's our Y and 90, Control and A, and apply the rotation. And just to demonstrate this, what I'm going to do is Shift and D and then Y this across. And then for this one, what I'm going to do is scale it so it's a bit longer and then apply the scale. So everything here is scaled at 1. For this one, what I'm going to do is S and then Z to shrink it down, then apply the scale, so everything goes back to 1, and then I'm going to scale it on the Z-axis again, really, really elongating or exaggerating this Z scaling, I guess ratio you'd call it. So it's nearly 7. In fact, we could probably come in here and just type in 7, and it'll be 7 exactly. And then for both of them, we'll just come in, Control and R, and then Control and R, and then select everything, Control and E, and then subdivide. So notice you can go into edit mode for multiple objects, put this up to 100, and we've got exactly the same looking objects here, except for, again, this one has got a scale of 7 on the Z-axis, whereas this one's got 1 on everything. So what I'd love to happen is, because this is scaled, I could use basically the trick that I did last time and then see and get rid of this and then still use proportional editing. But proportional editing is not affected by the scale. So you'll notice this still has this awful rounding at the top, which we don't want. We want it much more gradual. Please, if there's an add-on or setting somewhere that you know of where we can make our proportional editing affected by the scale, let me know, because I would love to use it and talk about it. And if there isn't one, it'd be a very niche add-on, but God, I'd really love it. But what we're going to do instead is use a different tool that is affected by the scale, and that is sculpt mode. Now, what we'll do is we'll come over here for this one first, and we'll just come into sculpt mode and notice that my sculpt brushes are round. And if I do something like draw, which would probably be a sensible idea here, we've got this drawing as a plus, and let's just up this strength to somewhere close to 7.5. I can do this, and oh no, we've got this, that's the plus side, so I'll just hold down control, and that will do it the opposite way, and this could be our ripple. That was very badly drawn, that's a little bit better. And we could then start coming in here and like smoothing things out. Let's actually just F to scale this up and give this a few shift and clicks so that we've got the smooth brush on. So we can start smoothing things so it gets less and less and less, but this is not great and it affects everything, like it smooths it in all directions. I'm not a huge fan of this as an option. Now there are loads of other options that we could do to get this effect, just so we're clear about this. If you've got some and you think this is absolutely awful, it might be. I don't use sculpting a lot, I'm a hard surface modeler. This was just something that came up and was a fun thing to talk about. But there are some videos linked in the description where I cover other ways of doing this, either with sculpting tools and you don't need to worry about this scaling malarkey, or using physics simulations. So there's a load of ways of achieving these ripples. But what we're going to do is go into this one. Let me just F and get this brush a little bit smaller. But notice we're currently in this object. That's why we can sculpt on it. I can't sculpt on this one. I am clicking there. You can see that on the mouse. But here is having an effect. What we can do is just quickly go to this one by pressing Alt and Q and look at what happens to the shape of the brush. It instantly becomes elongated. In fact, it becomes 7 times longer on the Z than it is on the other two axes, because that's what the scale is. Because sculpt brushes are affected by the scale. It's why you get this warning at the bottom saying active object has a non-uniform scale, because people are worried it's going to mess things up. So what I'm going to do is just make a bit of space by dragging that down, but then we can shift and space to have all of our tools. And I'm going to go to the grab option. And what that's going to allow me to do, if I just F and make this bigger, notice when you press F it goes round, and then it goes back to not being round when you come out of it, which is a little bit funky. I can come here and I can click at the bottom, and using the grab tool I can just drag this out. And this makes this much more tapered appearance. It's still pretty rounded here, though notice we can't do this perfectly. This is why I'd like this to work with the proportional editing tool, because we could control this more. Though I guess actually I could go in the Z axis here. This is going to be really difficult to see, and then try and select somewhere here and drag, but it won't let me because it's too infinitely thin. So I can't actually grab, so that's really, really annoying. So we're not going to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm going to have to come in here, get there, and then try and eyeball it to be relatively straight. So let's just undo that. Let's F to make this even more exaggerated there, and then just do something like that. Maybe that's a little bit too far there. Let's go here. So there we go. So we get this much more interesting fall off. Again, you just can't get this bottom perfect. It would be really, really good if you could do this and control this in a certain direction. But let's go with about there. And that looks a bit better, and then we could come in, let's say here, and do it the other direction. So we get this way more interesting shape. I can use the smooth button here, and this is going to smooth this out much more nicely to get this more undulating pattern. And we get this sort of length of fold going up to very little. It's quite a nice effect. I think what I probably need to do to make this look really good is actually exaggerate this even further. Let's just undo that and come into object mode. Let's just S and Z and make this really, really big. Let's go something like there. And then I'm just going to select all of those faces to about there, and then delete them out. Now this isn't going to look perfect at this point because I've now elongated all of these shapes, so all of the bits that were square. But if we come in here and then once again go into sculpt mode, you'll notice how much more exaggerated it's become, because it's all controlled by the scale. And I can now come in here and do something like that. or bring it in a little bit smaller. That's just F to bring that down, and then it will go like there. There we go. So anyway, you can get an idea of what we're doing. You can get an idea of how playing around with the scale is helping with this. I would love it if there was an alternative to this. I'd also really like it if you could make a brush be elongated in an axis without having to fiddle around with the scale, so you could just do it with an object without having to manipulate it later. Or to be able to set an object's scale without actually changing the shape of it. You just tell it to treat it now as having a scale on the z-axis of 10 or something like that. That'd be really handy. But anyway, I thought this was just a neat trick to sort of show for people that are wanting to do these sort of more rippled, undulating shapes that we can do this with the sculpting tool by fiddling around with the scale, and also just to give a demonstration of why this scaling can be helpful at points. As I say, there are lots of ways of achieving this, but I just think this is a fun one. So I thought it was worth discussing and covering. I know it was a bit of a niche video, but if you did like it, please hit that like button. I'm not sure it's going to be the most searched for topic on YouTube, but I thought for when people want it, this is going to be handy. Hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.